Welcome to this Friday edition of the Sunshine State Sports Rundown. College football is here, and we saw a Florida team play college football last night. Let's talk about it and let's make some predictions for week one. I am so excited to get into it. This is the Sunshine State Sports Rundown. So, UCF played last night, and is there a lot to talk about? Not really. I mean, in the most respectful way to put it to New Hampshire, they just curb stomp smacked them. KJ Jefferson didn't have to throw the ball much. Only threw 14 times, completed 7 of those, and had an interception. That's definitely something that you need him to step up. And yes, he did stuff through the ground, but it wasn't exactly what you were looking for. But what was just amazing was the running game. And did they run it a lot? That would be an understatement. They ran it almost every single play. RJ Harvey, wow, was he electric. Getting into the end zone twice. That one play where he got that juke and was able to pick up that first down was really something special. Penny Boone also got into the end zone as well as Miles Montgomery. KJ Jefferson scored on his legs. 5 rushing touchdowns. And they handed it off over 35 times. Ran it 35 times. If you're UCF, like, I understand it's versus New Hampshire, but there's not many negatives. The defense played solid. The offense was hitting it on all points, and after the third quarter, I'm like, this game is they were just curb stomping them. So UCF will have Sam Houston, and then they'll get into the real non quote unquote cupcake games. So excited to see what they can do in the Big 12. And I think this is a 10-win football team. My hot take of the year. UCF is going to win 10 football games this season. So let's talk about the game tonight, and that is FAU versus Michigan State. Wow, am I excited for this game. Look, FAU is fire Willie Taggart after 3 seasons of not making a bowl game. Before that, Lane Kiffin got him to 3 straight bowl games, 2 of which were a conference championship. So they were already feeling high expectations were the Owls. And then when you have Lane Kiffin leave to Ole Miss and Willie Taggart come in and him to have multiple 5-win seasons, you were 5-3 multiple times with chances to make a bowl, just couldn't get over the hump and couldn't get to that next stage. Big credit to Brian White for pulling the trigger, making the decision to let Taggart go. So, when I look at this Michigan State team, you may ask, who am I looking at? Why? What is FAU better at than Michigan State? And it's hard to say they're better than Michigan State at anything. They're probably better. I don't know. I don't know if Zeke Moore's better than Jack Velling at the tight end position. I'd say they're better at pass defense. So if they can limit Aiden Childs, who is the cocky guy who's saying bet the over and everything, and Day Hill and the defense itself, Desmond Tisdale, Jackson Ambush in the secondary as a total can stop the pass game, which is going to be very hard because, look, is Michigan State have good receivers? They're good. They're not great. They're probably similar to FAU. FAU might have better receivers. And FAU also, Jonte Wester and Jaquan Burton. But you have Monterey Foster, Nick Marsh, and other than that, it's like a huge drop. I'd say Monterey Foster is the only player that can compete with the FAU wide receiver room. Now, FAU is not better than Michigan State at most things. Quarterbacks, no, Aiden Childs is better. Yes, he's unproven. Yes, he sat behind Peyton Thorne. It was, but last year I forget who played QB. But that's just my thing. FAU is gonna have to play a perfect game. They're gonna have to do good in the secondary. And look, if I did take an upset this week, it's FAU. I think, look, if I have to bet my house on it, I'm saying Michigan State. But in all reality, and I'm going to clip this when FAU wins. I'm going to clip this when FAU wins. Just so you guys know. FAU is going to upset Michigan State. So that's my picks 2-0 for the Florida teams. Now, before we get to the big games, Miami, Florida, the USF game, let's talk some in-state Florida matchup. Man, I am excited for this. So let's look at the Miami team first, because Miami is easily more talented than Florida. The only way Florida gets a win is because they're at home. So let's take a look at this Miami team. Cam Ward, the quarterback, he transferred in from Washington State, had an amazing season last season. I believe he threw for nearly 4,000 yards. Someone who can do it through the air and through the ground. Very much so needs to improve on accuracy, but Cam Ward is a top 10 quarterback in college football. So, other than Cam Ward and this Miami team, you may be asking. Now, I know I said UCF has the best running game in the country, but it may actually be Miami. Damian Martinez, the transfer from Oregon State, rushed for over 1,400 yards. You also have guys in that room like Mark Fletcher, like AJ Allen, who Alex Dono, our guest on here, said he had a phenomenal fall camp. Now, did I seriously get into the... Okay, guys, I literally said we're going to save Miami UF for later, and then I go into it straight up. Wow. My apologies, but let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. So, yes, as I mentioned, their running back room is very solid. Their defensive line is the best in the country, in my opinion. Ruben Bain Jr. is an absolute beast who picked up multiple sacks last season. The receiver room is amazing. Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George. They're going to Donkey Kong curb stomp smash Florida on the road. It's not going to be particularly close, in my opinion. Because, again, Florida's not better than anything that Miami is. Like, Miami is better at every aspect. Again, maybe secondary Florida is better, but I'm not high on Graham Mertz. Look, he can't do anything explosive. He can't do anything special, so to speak. But I'd say watch out if I had to say anything. It's just they're just not that. I'd say watch out for the secondary because their DBs is so good. Like Jason Marshall, Asa Turner, Jakeem Jackson, Devin Moore, and don't forget Cormani McLean, who transferred in to UF. But Miami's going to win this game quite easily. Give me 35-31. I mean, 35. I'm going to say they score more. No, I'm going to say 34. 34-20. 14-point victory on the road. They're gonna dominate. Curb stomp smack 'em. Let's take a look at another familiar foe. Some team who's been like that. They probably have the best Twitter motivation. Like, here's the thing, USF, and I'm an FAU reporter, FAU fan, and you guys won 6 games and had a good bowl game versus Syracuse, another 6-win team, and now you're expecting to make the playoffs. Yeah, but this is no doubt a team that can easily win 9-10 games. So let's take a look at him. Byron Brown is the quarterback. We all know that. I'm not too familiar with this USF team. You guys let me know down below. Please do. I'm trying to remember. I think I do remember. It's that one guy, really good receiver. It's something Atkins. He's really good. He's speedy. So they're gonna win week 1. Oh yeah, and then not to mention that guy Keith in the running back room. So USF is gonna be really solid this season. And they're gonna beat Bethune Cookman quite easily. Like, I'd say 51-7. 51-7, that sounds right. Bulls down. Just kidding. Wait, it's like this, right? Yeah. Bulls down. I'm just kidding, USF fans. It's just some friendly banter. Let's take a look at FIU, the last team in this Florida spectrum. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know much about FIU besides their running backs. But they play Indiana. And they're on the road. I think they're gonna get curb stopped quite easily. Those running backs are solid, but they're gonna need their offensive line to go really hard. Their quarterback, I learned something new about him. He's a good quarterback. But he's a good quarterback, but he can't be like a superhero, and he has a limited athletic ability. Kind of like Haynes King. But Haynes King was super good last week. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. FIU, I can't bring much about that team. I thought I did well studying, preparing, doing stuff on the other games. But I think it's quite simple. I can tell you about Indiana though. I did do studying on this Indiana team's ratings, so to speak. Like how they've done, how they've produced. And I do know they have a great wide receiver room. Elijah Sarrett and Donovan McCollum. Curtis Rourke, their QB, is really, really, really a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, he was a transfer from yes, Ohio. He was a transfer from Ohio, Curtis Rourke. He got injured. But good quarterback. Really good. He's gonna prove the world this year too. So that'll do it for the week 1 predictions of the Sunshine State Sports Rundown. Make sure you guys let us know down below in that comment section your thoughts on some FL team predictions. To go over it one more time, USF win, FAU upset win, Miami win, UCF already won, Florida lost to Miami, and FIU lost. That'll do it for today's episode on the Sunshine State Sports Rundown. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.